I would say that it is a coincidence, of course. It is a coincidence. I believe February 14th every year is Valentine's Day. That is fixed. And Ash Wednesday is actually also fixed in a way because I think it is the third or second Wednesday. There's a way it is calculated. So it is a coincidence that it is on the same day this year. But like you said, it is a great reminder for us because we have made Valentine into what it should not be.
Princess Diana once said, "I don't go by the rule book. I lead from the heart, not the head." Okay? My next quote will be from Vincent van Gogh, once said, "Love is something eternal. The aspect may change, but not the essence." Absolutely spot on. All right, now I will take my next one, and this one is from John Mark Green, once said, "Love has nothing to do with what you are expecting to get, only with what you are expecting to give, which is everything." Now on the flip side, I'll take the next one that says, that's from Father Thomas Merton, who once said, "Ash Wednesday is full of joy. The sources of all sorrow is the illusion that of ourselves we are anything but dust." Let's see how this quote relates to what we'll be discussing tonight. Very warm greetings and welcome to D Conversation, reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. I'm sure you're wondering again, last weekend we talked about sexual health matters, and today we're talking about love. What exactly is it with Annabelle and love and all those sex things this week? But anyway, we're still in the month of love, yeah? So just allow me to leave politics, allow me to leave the economy, allow me to leave insecurity and talk love. Once in a while, we just need to chill. After all, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. All right, so that said, my guest on the show today is Funmi Olubakin, who is a psychotherapist and she is a marriage counselor. Today we'll be talking about Ash Wednesday and versus Valentine's Day. Is there a reason why you have those 2 days together? Because some people will say Valentine's Day is pure evil. Some people will say Ash Wednesday is pure sacred. Why do you have those 2 days? Maybe it's because of you. That's why we have this conversation. Welcome to the show, Funmi.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to have you too. Great. Okay, now let's start with the fact that I wanted to actually start by just get a definition, your own personal definition of love or Valentine's Day. But then, in my mind, first, I want to understand, are you thinking the way I'm thinking? The fact that Valentine's Day is always, people most times see it as just do illicit things, just do very bad things, and then come back in November and tell us the aftermath of Valentine's Day. Because most people will say Valentine's Day is a day to just have illicit affair, have sex almost everywhere. But then, maybe Ash Wednesday just came in like a buffer. If you want to do it, JJ. Is that how you're seeing it also?
Well, I would say that it is a coincidence, of course. It is a coincidence. I believe February 14th every year is Valentine's Day. That is fixed. And Ash Wednesday is actually also fixed in a way because I think it is the third or second Wednesday. There's a way it is calculated. So it is a coincidence that it is on the same day this year. But like you said, it is a great reminder for us because we have made Valentine into what it should not be. And so a celebration, a day that was set aside to celebrate love in its beautiful, pure form, you know, people have now made it into a day to do the unimaginable. And so this can be a call for us to at least remember God. What love is supposed to be about on Valentine's Day in 2024. Yes.
Okay, so now that said, what exactly is love supposed to be about?
That's an amazing question. You know, God himself is love. Love is supposed to be something so pure and something so dedicated.
Okay.
You understand? So it is pure in all of its form, and it is dedicated. One person or two people coming together now to become one and to do life together for as long as they are both alive. Not trying or upping from one person to the other, or not putting it up for sale. Is who gives me more.
Okay.
That is one of the things that, you know, is now very common nowadays. Who gives more, who can show up more. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's supposed to be a situation where two people are coming together, making a dedication to be together forever, whatever it takes. That is love. It's different from what we see nowadays, especially amongst young people. It's really about who can buy me the biggest gift. And many of those people who are demanding for the biggest gifts, you know, the finest heirs, they are not even ready to put in the work that is required when we talk about love. Those who are also buying the gifts, those who can afford it, so they can get the finest girls, right? They are also not even ready to put in the commitment required when we talk about love in its actual form, because they are paying for it. They are buying it. Do you understand?
Okay.
So love should be focused. It should be committed. It should be two people coming together, saying against all odds, for as long as we both are alive, we have for each other.
Okay, so I'll ask you two questions, drawing from what you just stated. Now, you said love it has to be about two people. Is there a part where someone can just say, okay, it's just me. I want to just love on myself. That's it. I'm not interested in, I've been there, done that. I'm not interested in any other person or thing to love. Just me, myself, and I. Is there any part like that?
That is very possible too.
Okay.
Of course, you could decide that, say, relationship thing is not for me, or maybe it's not for me now. At this point of my life, I would like to focus on other things, or focus on myself to grow, to become better, to understand myself better, to get in touch with my true self, okay, to shut out the noise or the influence on somebody else always speaking in my head. It is possible, and that is acceptable too, depending on where you are in life.
Okay.
But as a total lover girl, I believe that life is just more beautiful
With someone else.
with someone. Yes.
Okay.
If you are sharing your life truly with someone, and it is reciprocated, of course. Both of you together sharing your life, your thoughts, your dreams, I think it just makes life a lot more beautiful.
Okay, so the other part I was going to ask is, because you talked about it has to be about two people who said we want to do this journey together till thy kingdom come and all. But then I've seen people who say, okay, I just want us to let's just see what's happening here now. For the now, I'm not interested in, I don't want to think about the future, maybe marriage or so. Does it actually mean that if at that point, if I decide I'm not interested in marriage with this person, but I tell you that I love you, does that actually make any sense?
So you love me, that's what now?
Some people just say just for the fun of it or whatever it is we're having now, but not for...
Okay, I think that we should go to the beginning.
Okay.
Before I answer that question. Every young girl, every young boy, their first introduction to this thing called love, it was never like that. If you think back on your first love, if everybody thinks back on their first love, it is like, it's me and you. You understand that closeness?
Yeah.
And that's why it's called puppy love, because it's so pure. And you would even be trying to tell these girls, 17 years old, 16 years old, that calm down. That's not how it is done. They are ready to run away from home to be with a maker. Do you understand? That is how it was from the beginning. And then we chop our first breakfast. And it's like, God, am I going to ever recover from this? You cry for 7 days non-stop, unconsolable. Your parents are asking you, what is the problem? You can't speak. Then you give it another try, say 2 years later. Now you are 19. Terrible. Then you get into the university, you try again. That one is even double dating. In fact, you found out that he has 3 other girlfriends. You know, it is those heartbreaks the purity of the love that we dreamt of as young children, or when we started this journey of love, it has already been contaminated, and now we don't trust anymore. We don't trust completely anymore. Even when we trust, we are watching. Our two eyes are opened, like, you cannot play me. I've been there before. And that is what has now led to the kind of situation you are describing. Okay, I want a companionship. I really do want a woman in my life. I really do want a man in my life. But I can't put all of myself into it, so that in case this one too behaves like the others, you know, my heartbreak, it will be minimum. I cannot be crying at 28. You see? So I think that is what has led to that. But originally, the way every human being perceives love, you know, it is something that they would have wanted to last forever. Yes.
Okay, now so let's come back and talk about Valentine's Day. What is the ideal? I don't want to look at definition, but what is the ideal state of what should Valentine's Day look like? Because right from when we were in school, secondary school, you always have the gift pack, the flowers, the chocolates, the everything. But then it looks like every day it keeps changing. So what should the ideal Valentine's Day look like, apart from the part where some people will just go into illicit relationship and sexual matters?
Okay, so you know, there are people that do everything, whatever it takes, to get into a relationship latest 1st January, because Valentine is coming.
It's coming.
And somebody must do me parara. You understand? You know, just for the gram, just to be able to say something, to be able to do unboxing video. It doesn't matter what the person is dishing you. Let us do this Valentine first. And that's not how it is supposed to be. It's just like for every area of life, for every aspect of life, for everything we do in life, we shouldn't be doing things just to make an impression, just to impress people. We should be doing things for ourselves, living our lives intentionally, so that whatever we do serves what we consider to be our purpose in life. So, you know, people getting into a relationship so that by all means they can celebrate Valentine, that is out of it. That should be out of it.
Okay.
But if you are in a committed relationship already, or you are married already, Valentine is a good wake-up call. Okay? Because some of us get so busy with life, everyday life, work, projects, and all whatnot that we have to deal with every day. Okay. We put love at the back. That is a trap that a lot of couples, especially married people, are falling into. Like, you are my husband. We live together in this house every day. I beg, soup money. Then the diaper is almost finished. Plus, you may even now be surprised with a pregnancy, like I was last year. Ta-da! Yeah. I'm pregnant. And so there's so much to deal with. This, my husband should just understand that I'm busy. Do you get? You put them at the bottom of your to-do list every day. Showing appreciation, expressing your love, letting them know that they mean a lot to you. We'll do that later. If I didn't love her, why did I marry her? Exactly. She should know I love her. Let me just chase this contract first. So Valentine serves as a reminder. Okay. Come out of all of that. Okay. Put your focus on this person. This morning now I've been asked, where is my Valentine? Have you prepared my Valentine's gift? And me too, I asked in return, have you prepared? So if we don't give each other a gift at any other point, at least the vendors we see everywhere, 10K package, 50K package, we were all reminded to do something for the person that we love. That's in the case of a spouse or a fiancé, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Okay. And also, for me, it also serves as a reminder to appreciate the people that have helped me, that have blessed me, that have been kind to me. So
it doesn't only have to be about spouses?
No. It doesn't only have to be about spouses. Okay. Even though for Valentine, that is the general idea. But you know that we receive love in a lot of ways and from a lot of people. True. You know, there's a woman down my street whom I could buy a crate of eggs from when I don't have cash on me. She would not even ask me any question. when you are ready, bring it. Do you understand? She shows me love. And Valentine is a reminder to appreciate such a person.
Okay.
They're in every area of our lives, at work, you know, church. There are many places where we have met wonderful people that serve us and make our lives more beautiful. It is also an opportunity to appreciate them.
Okay, now, so because you said you have actually reminded your hubby about Valentine's Day, then I actually got a message. I was trying to open it, and then someone says that, is it actually wrong if I forget Valentine? And can she understand? Can she just understand?
I knew he's a man that would ask that question. I already knew. These men will forget birthdays. They forget wedding anniversaries. Now, Valentine, that the whole world is shouting. How can you not know that it's Valentine period? Is it possible? Valentine, that the whole world is shouting. Now, you want to forget. It's not like it is wrong. I do not judge you, okay? I'm talking to the person that asked the question. But it makes you look like an unintentional lover. It makes you look like a lazy lover. It doesn't pass the right message to your partner. We should put effort into love. If you put effort into studies, you put effort into your career, you go for trainings, you know, you remember to tip someone at work, you remember, you know, all these things that we do to make our lives easier. You shouldn't leave your spouse. You shouldn't leave your significant other without doing something for them. But again, we get familiar with those people. We live together. You know, we see them
so
every
just
day.
like more like cohabiting.
We see them every day. We're already used to them. And that is why this kind of things happen. So I encourage you, please. She will mind. It doesn't mean that it will be the end of the relationship. It doesn't mean she will not overlook. It doesn't mean she will not forget. But you are not filling your love bank. You are not communicating to her that she matters to you. And that is not nice.
Okay, so now for, let's say if for such persons who have actually gone through it before now, and then they say, okay, I'm always forgetting, or I'm not always giving gifts. I don't know how to give gifts, or I don't know how to love. I don't know how to just do those expressions about Valentine's Day and all. So for such person, how would they actually deal? How would you get started?
Okay. I don't think that this is a difficult thing to learn.
Okay.
My people will say that it's the person you don't love that you will say their house is far. If you love somebody, you can learn these things. Okay? You can learn it. I would use myself as an example. I am not a great gift giver as a person. I never have been. I don't think I will be. I would just have to put in the effort. And there are vendors that have helped us. How much do you have? 30,000. We will package something. Do you understand? What does she like? There are people that offer those kind of services. Just tell me about your wife or tell me about your husband. I can put something together.
Okay.
Give me your cost. Okay, even if it is this money bouquet that they drew. What of that one? Okay, do you have the person's account number? Can you transfer something and say I love you? Do you get at all? Now you bad. Do something. So we can all learn. If you cannot give a gift of money, you can give a gift of self. How about that? For one year, my husband's birthday, I didn't have money. But is this not our house? I carried coconut oil. I said, baby, lie down. See warm water here. I became a masseur. Immediately. That was his birthday gift. Can you see? We can do a lot. What of a handwritten note?
Okay.
That this year I will not be able to buy a gift. Okay, but this is what you mean to me. Find poems online. You see the ones you started with, very beautiful. Quote one or two, you know, just do something. So we can learn. That's the answer to the question you asked. If we put effort into it, just a little bit of effort into it, we can all learn. And our partners will definitely be delighted, especially because of the effort.
Okay, so because I heard you say, why not put money into the account and then send the message and all. Now I'm going to ask you, in the days of our mothers or our grandmothers, they always know how to just persevere. If my husband does not have, I will bring, let the children eat. But now it looks like these days, most people don't understand romance without finance. So how do you deal? Or is there actually love or romance without finance? And if there is, how would you actually deal with those ones who say, if the cash is not there, Oga, waiting be love?
Okay. So our parents, their era, it is quite different from ours, definitely. It is quite different from ours. But you see, the wisdom with which they navigated life, we need it. Despite our own exposure in this era of knowledge, right? This era of information. We need it. We need that wisdom. I would not want to put it out and say that if not for their perseverance, some of us will not grow up in a family. We'll probably grow up on the streets. Do you understand? But it is the truth. Because they could persevere, especially our mothers. Because they could persevere, because they could find joy in other things.
Okay.
In as much as they didn't have much, many of them were not educated. You know, they did not complicate life. And so today you see a woman who says something like, my husband doesn't make me happy, and leaves because of that. That he doesn't create time for me when I'm talking to him. He's not listening. And I'm not acting drama. These are things that I've heard.
Yeah.
I've been doing marriage counseling for 10 years now.
Okay.
Psychotherapy for 5 years. And then because of that, you say, I need a break. What's that? What's a break? You sit down and face life. If it doesn't make you happy, can't you be busy? Can't you be doing your job? Can't you be putting your attention on your children? Can't you serve? Do you understand? Because we begin to look at love as if I'm getting. And that's nice. But it is actually you are giving. You are sacrificing. You are doing something. Can you please calm down? Before you know it, people are throwing big words around. It cannot be sustained that way. Love cannot be sustained that way, and marriage cannot be sustained that way. Anybody that is serious with life will know that love may not even start with money.
Okay.
When our parents started, what did they have? But gradually, as years went by, they built. And so what your father achieved after 30 or 28 or 25 years of being married to your mother, you want a young man to have it now.
But isn't that the reason why they will say, like you said, it's the era of knowledge, social media, we're moving, we're evolving.
But there's a thing about time, and time must always take its course.
Okay.
There are things that only time can deliver. We cannot rush time. Time will take its course. If we don't give time a chance, there is no way. You are a copper, is a copper. Where is the car going to? How will he do it? Except maybe he has a family inheritance handed to him. He will not be able to afford it. Just like those women too cannot afford those things by themselves. The same level of education. We all have the exposure. We all have the information. I should give you 1 million. Where is your own 1 million? You don't have. Do you understand? We must allow time take its course, and we must be patient with love.
Be patient.
Although I would testify that love plus money is sweeter. You understand what I mean? Love, when money is there to spend, you know, it will not even feel like, oh, this love is very strong, you know, unlike love where we are just managing. If we even have to go to an eatery, we share a bottle of Fanta. Even that one too is not bad. It depends on where you are in life. You are 19, you are 20. Why don't you wait? Okay, a 28-year-old woman may have higher expectations because she herself, she has gone higher in life. She's also earning money. Okay, she's been working for maybe 5 years. You cannot be offering her a bottle of Fanta. It's understandable. Okay. But time, we must make sure that we are at that place in life before we begin to make demands. Okay, so
sorry I had to butt in there. I need it because you talked about for a woman who is like 28, she has seen life, she has done a lot of stuff, and then you cannot be giving her something less. Because I remember we had that argument in the office some time ago, and then some guys came out to say that, okay, if I'm living in, let's say for instance, Nyanya, and I want to get married to someone who is living in Wuse because she's earning very good, and because we love each other, so why can't she just accept and then leave that her Wuse and come to my Nyanya kind of life? But she's saying that I've seen suffer, I've seen poverty, I can't go back there.
Go back.
So is it wrong for her to have that mentality, or is it wrong for him to have such mentality?
It's not wrong for her to have that mentality. And for him, if he doesn't even see the upgrade, because, I mean, this lady is actually trying to upgrade his life. But it seems like he wants to continue in that suffering, that yaya life. Don't let me call it suffering. It is okay. One of the greatest things I always say to people about marriage is that find somebody that you align.
Okay.
You understand? Agreements. So far you both agree on something. That is the key. If you find somebody that thinks like you share the same values, you know, you'll be able to talk it out.
Okay.
And reach a conclusion. So, well, I could say that they are both neither wrong nor right.
Okay.
It depends on how they are able to talk it out. And if she insists that she doesn't want to live the life that she now has for herself, she's absolutely right. Let her find somebody who is at that level, or somebody that can understand.
Okay.
If he also says that he wants to be the one to help himself, he doesn't believe that a woman can upgrade a man in life, fantastic.
Yeah.
At that, yeah, she will find somebody, or he can even move towards marital, you know, go further. He will find a woman that will even think bringing me to Yaya is upgrading me.
Upgrade.
There's
so
someone for everyone out there.
Most definitely.
Yes.
All right. Clearly, we have a lot of bundle from this conversation with Funmi Olubakin, who is marriage counselor, and we will get right into it. After this time, I'll just go to a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Expectations, what people think that marriage is about and what they find in it. You will grow up, you understand, and you will have to face reality. Many people, you know, their idea of love was created by romance novels, movies, American romance movies, or even Nollywood movies where the prince, you know, is going to fall in love with a slave. Where did you see that nonsense? Where? Do you get? So that is how their idea of love was formed. So love is highly romanticized. Like, oh, it's one something. The older you grow, I mean, you are going to begin to realize that, oh no, it doesn't really work that way. But that doesn't mean that people don't even still get married with expectations that will never surface.
Okay.
So you would have to communicate your expectations with your spouse. Young women out there, especially those of you that are not married, right? A married woman can decide to say, my body is the Valentine's gift I have for my husband. That's beautiful. Even God will smile in heaven. Somebody that has not married you, you want to go and be hanging leg. Somebody that he has no plans, even you looking at him. Sex is most beautiful in marriage. If we throw it about anyhow, sincerely, the consequences far outweighs whatever it is that you can gain from it. Sex is not a Valentine's gift. If the person is not your wife, the person is not your husband, sex cannot be. Please try to remove it from your relationships for a clear head. Okay. Because when sex is involved, sincerely, we begin to make irrational decisions. And that is why there are people who are in terribly abusive marriages, and you cannot get them out.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation, reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've actually missed out on the first part of the show, but then we can go straight to the second segment. My guest is still Funmi Olubakin, who is a marriage counselor and a psychotherapist. Okay, before we went on that break, you actually hit in the right spot. But then we get quite a number of social media questions, and then this person is asking, okay, I think, let me just paraphrase so I don't have to read the lengthy message. He's talking about red flags. How do I spot the red flags before I get married? So let's talk about that for both genders, because I feel like it's a female asking the question.
Okay, so the red flags are many. Okay,
let's start with what worked for you.
What worked for me? Oh,
it might not work for the other person.
Exactly. Okay. I was quite young when I met the man I got married to.
Okay.
And that was how many years ago now? 15, 16 years ago.
Okay.
The world was not as complicated as it is now. You know, I always say to people that, oh, I don't envy those of you in the dating pool right now. It is a whole lot that is going on. Everybody is looking out for the other person's mistake. Everybody is looking for that red flag now you just mentioned. Is it a red flag? I told my boyfriend that, is that a red flag? What is it? Calm down. You know, that's the simplicity of life that I was talking about before.
Then
The way our parents had it, the way our grandmothers have it. They didn't have a checklist.
okay.
Many of them just married, okay, I love you, it's okay. That was what my parents did. My grandparents, I believe, father was friend with the father of this other person. Oh, they are good people, their son, oh, fantastic. And they made it work. But now things have become a lot more complicated. It's not bad. It's not bad as such, but you know, we just take it to the extreme.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that is that. Okay, so talking about red flags. First of all, it starts with you.
Okay.
I believe that there are no two people that cannot actually be together. Okay, no, let me rephrase. There's nobody that is totally bad.
Okay.
And there's nobody that is totally good.
Okay.
Nobody is absolutely terrible. You can imagine the people that you don't like, they have a best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stand you. When you come in, I get out. But then you have somebody that texts you every day.
Right.
So we can actually use that scope or that lens to look at the situation. It's possible that it's just the two of you that don't vibe well, or you don't connect well, or something about you triggers the devil in him.
Okay.
Something about him triggers you too, and all of that.
Okay.
So it depends on you. And then we now bring in the other person. So what can you not take?
Okay.
What do you consider very, very bad? Someone comes from a background where the mother was the sole provider, and she sees her mom working so hard, and unfortunately, daddy, being a typical African man, was not very appreciative, you know. That becomes a red flag for her.
Ah, okay.
If you cannot provide, in fact, I cannot give my money to a man. Can you see? Someone else is coming from a background where everybody is just sharing. You don't even know where money is coming from. You are not tainted. And so when it comes to money and sharing in relationship, you just do it. You don't even mind. You may not even notice that you are giving more than this person. Somebody else may have to call your attention to it. That, has he ever bought anything for you before? I keep seeing you packaging gifts, you know. Can you see? My experiences come in, and it matters. So that is that about that. I was just trying to say individual differences matter, although there are now some things that you shouldn't negotiate.
Okay.
For instance, if one person is eating the other already in a relationship, you know, we don't have to talk too much about that one. That's a no-no.
Any kind of violence at all.
Yes. Why will adults be eating adults?
Okay, so does it actually stop at hitting, physical, or you also have emotional abuse? You also have verbal abuse and all.
Of course.
So you should also look out for that too.
You should look out for that, especially when you are about to enter into a relationship or in a relationship already. You don't have to put yourself through that. Okay? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just save yourself. Okay. If someone is verbally abusive, when they get angry, you know, they say vile things. I had a person in counseling, a lady, and she was telling me about the kind of things a boyfriend says when he is angry. Like, no filter, as in terrible things. Why would you say these kind of things to somebody that you claim to love? He has to go and heal himself first. You understand? You don't want to tangle yourself with that kind of person. What if he never changes? Another 15, okay, you get married to him, another 10 years, another 15 years, he's still like this. That's going to take a toll on your life. Okay? So just avoid.
But then some other persons will tell you that we all have our shortcomings. And my shortcoming is because I grew up in a family where the mother would just say, waka, or say one thing or the other. So they grew up in that kind of environment, but you grew up in an environment where your mom is, instead of cursing, she's blessing. So probably that's our difference. So that's the way I grew up. So what if for that person, just I'm trying to somehow speak for the men who would just say,
for you that you grew up where they are cursing, you go and find another person that they are cursing, so that you know you are both used to it. Sincerely, don't come and kill a blessed child with harsh words. Okay? I have a couple that I can use for an example. This exact thing that you have just described. And so when the guy speaks and calls her names, she's taken aback. Like, what? And it breaks her. She weeps. She cries. Because she's coming from a family where there's so much love.
Yeah.
A father and a mother, I mean, they are so expressive. They are so expressive and of love, always love. Always with each other, always traveling together. You know, you would... then she gets married to this guy and he doesn't even care. He has already spoken. It's terrible. Many times she has had to excuse herself just to, you know, get her mind back. Then go back to talk to him. You cannot keep talking to me this way. He would apologize, right? Then it will happen again. Do you know that she would have saved herself all of this trouble if she had found somebody that is at least
her kind?
A kind. Thank you for that. She would have saved herself all of this trouble. So it's not by force to marry this particular person, no. No.
Actually, we used to hear that there are droughts of men and women. There are no men around. There are no husbands. That's
not happening now. Is that happening now?
Okay.
Is that, you know, back then when there was war and men used to be killed, maybe we would have said. But now, everywhere, every young person, they all have toaster. Everybody has toaster. Everybody. I mean, so it is better to save yourself.
Okay.
So physical abuse is, of course, a no-no. Someone I love dearly will always tell the story of a young woman that he wanted to start dating. And then one day they went to the pharmacist to get a medication. Or there was a little misunderstanding between her and the pharmacist. And the next thing, she slaps the guy. He begged her, no, don't be slapping people now. Now. That went. Another day, they were on a bus in Lagos. Conductor did not quickly give her change, or there was a mistake in the change. She slapped conductor. The guy said it will soon be my turn. Do you get? And he's absolutely right. Now, that woman, I don't judge her. It's possible she has inner turmoil. She's dealing with stuff. She's very angry. She can work on herself on her own when she decides to, or when she accepts that she has a problem.
Okay.
But it is better you do not bite more than you can chew. You can let those people go. Tell them that you have to heal. You have an issue. I will not be able to go further with you at this point.
Okay.
If you know that you can't. Some people are very strong. They say, it's me and you. We will do it. I will stay with you. If you know you can too, it is fine.
All right.
But you have to really, really be careful. The decision of who to do life with is not something you should joke with.
All right. Okay, so now let's talk about, because you talked about this era, this social media era, where you see a lot of things going on social media, especially Instagram. They know how to just pepper you people. And like a few weeks ago, we saw the marriage of Kunle and Tiwi, and it was everywhere. Everyone talking this and talking that. And then few days ago again, it was now Vicky James' turn.
Yes.
And it was like, oh God, when I was reading through the comments, you have most singles who will say, oh, singles will not breathe again. It is time for us to go and get married. So it is the social media era. And then most people will always want to throw their relationship or their marriage straight to social media. And at this time, that's where you begin to find so much separation, so much divorces. I've seen so many of that, especially from the people in the entertainment sector, who would come out to say so many things about their spouses. I've seen, I'm not going to mention name. I know of so many of them who will come out to say, okay, she claimed to be a virgin, she's this and she's doing all of that stuff, and then they're not living together. So is social media the problem here, or is it we that are the problem here? Because if you remember, in the days of our parents also, they never had internet, they never had data, they never had social media, not even to make calls. But it looks like the world is changing. Generations are coming. You have the Gen Zs, the Gen Z buddies, the Alpha generation, the Delta, the every generation coming forth. But social media, it means tech will continue to increase.
Of course.
So
of course.
is it the increase in this technology or social media that is the problem, or we ourselves?
Okay. So I think that the problem is actually we.
Okay.
Right? But social media is now fueling it. And I will explain.
Okay.
We have a generation of people who are not strong anymore. People have become feeble in their minds. You understand? There is no tenacity anymore. There's no grit. So people quit on things. It's not just marriage. It's not only relationship. People quit on their jobs. My boss spoke to me somehow. It's my mental health. And then they would rather be jobless. They would even blame their friend who has a job and is not giving them money. That see all the money my friend is making and she cannot help me. Do you see what I'm talking about? People have become very, very fickle. They give up on friendships too. It's not only relationship, it's not only marriage. They will not talk things out. Enemies, haters, everybody. People have become, I don't want to say non-intelligent, but I mean, you cannot have a conversation with them anymore. You cannot tell them this is what you did that I don't like. That's gaslighting.
Yeah.
Big words. There is absolutely nothing that they can take. If you cannot accept them the way they are, allow them behave the way they want to behave,
Okay.
you are not good. And then, so they walk away. They walk away from mentors. They vex and pack out of their parents' house. These same people. Do you understand? They ghost their friends for no reason. They block people. By the time you hear the reason why some friendships break and the reason why some people walk out on their relationships, you are going to be surprised that please explain further. Because I don't get it. I have brought all my skills to the table, all of my qualifications. I don't get you. Do you get? So that is us.
Okay.
That is who we are now. People will not read anymore. Who is going to sit down with a book and say you are reading 200 pages of how to make your relationship work? Does he love me? Do I love him? Oh, she's so beautiful. She's so curvy. Depending on the shape that is raining. You understand?
Shape that is raining.
Depending on the shape that is raining. Because before, we used to appreciate women being so slim. Then, we have moved. Someone was telling me there's no slim girl in Lagos anymore.
Exactly.
Somebody said on TV that if you have not done the BBL, it's because you are poor.
Exactly.
Like
that's the thing now.
That's the thing now. And so I am poor because I did not do BBL. That is what is reigning now. Even our men too. That is what they are after now. So if you cannot jiggle it, you are not woman enough. Can you see what we are doing? It doesn't make sense at all. And so nobody is learning the deep things, you understand, carefully thought out processes.
Okay.
Those things that our parents held on to, like it is together forever. You know, my mom told me that when you bring a man home, I will not choose a husband for you.
Okay.
When you bring a man home, make sure you have thought it through. Because when we give you to him in marriage, I hope you know that you cannot come back here. Am I not in my husband's house? You will have to stay in your own husband's house too. That is why you must think it through. Do you get? I know that is not popular opinion anymore because, I mean, what if she's being abused over there? What if she's being maltreated? And that is totally right. But you see, we were equipped with the mentality of marriage is supposed to work. Go and serve your husband. Go and do what it takes. Go, try your best. Give it your best. But now people are actually waiting that, I hope it is not that you want to try me. Somebody said if my husband tells me to pay half of the rent, I find myself in a marriage where a man says to me that I should support with paying the rent. I'm leaving that marriage. Just like that. Is that what you people consider marriage to be now? You are leaving. Just like that. Can you see what I'm saying? Okay, so what part does social media play? Okay. So social media has given us something precious, and that is communities. It has given us connects, groups, so to speak. And so when somebody is going through something, in times past, you may have to dig deep into yourself to find your way out of your problem. Do you get? You have to look deep into your most authentic self and say, can I deal? Do I want to continue? Do I want to walk away? If I don't walk away, what do I do? I don't want to go and tell my mom that I'm going through this. I don't want my sisters to know that this is happening to me. What can I do? It may mean that you take a bit more than you are not supposed to take. But you give your best.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
You give your best before you get to the point where you say, oh, let me run. But now, before it is even a problem, while it is even just a bad habit or something to overlook, you will see somebody on Instagram, you will see somebody on social media that says that, she did this to me, and she did this to me. Never. A king must not take that. Stay woke, kings. You know, somebody, and then because of that, your problem is multiplied in your head. And you say, oh, this is my tribe. This is community. My person. That's what we are into. We are really suffering.
You understand the guy code.
Exactly. Justice for the men. And it is blown out of proportion. And so somebody who would probably have forgiven their spouse's mistake, he now has a community of people that say, don't do it. There is somebody there that says that I forgave and she did it again. There's somebody else that is saying that I did not wait. I sent her packing to her father's house. Do you see? You no longer consult with yourself anymore.
Okay.
This your family members on social media. They will now be the one to tell you what to do. You know?
The online in-laws.
The online in-laws. They will now be the one to judge the matter. And then you are just thrown out of track. So we end up making decisions that we will actually eventually regret. But by then, it's too late because a marriage must be worked on. Challenges will definitely arise. In the best marriages, the sweetest marriages, challenges came. What made them even as sweet as they are now is because they overcame.
Okay.
They now share a love that has been tested. Okay? They share a love that has been tested, that has overcome, and it's stronger. So that is what social media does.
All right. So now let's talk about divorce. I hear you say something about divorce and then how our parents will tell you, you better watch well so that you don't come back to this house again. So most people would just say, I don't want to divorce him because I don't want to return back to my parents because they warned me not to come back home. So at what point, two questions and I'd like you to take them together. Okay. At what point is it worse? I can't deal. Just walk away, separate, or get divorced. And secondly, we always hear God hates divorce. But then when you go and check again, it's a different thing you see in the Bible. So really, for those people who have that mentality, because we still keep hearing them say God hates divorce, so sit down there. Even the religious leaders will tell you God hates divorce. Sit your butt there. So for such people, let's get your thoughts in that regard.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so one after the other, there are what I call the big issues of marriage.
Okay.
Okay. And I can count them on one hand. All right. We know that there are extreme cases where it can't work. And not only is it not working, it has become detrimental to one party. It can do damage, terrible damage to one party. And when those things happen, I mean, it's only human to say, save your life. Okay, so I'll count them on my fingers and we'll see. The first one would be abandonment.
Okay.
There is no marriage if you are not together. There are people who have not seen their spouses in 7 years. And there is no even possibility, or there is no time in the horizon that this is when she's coming, or this is when we will be together. I know a woman whose husband left for greener pastures. I believe that was their plan. That was their agreement. They had only one child. I said, okay, let me go and hustle. You will join me and all of that. That child was an infant, or maybe a toddler, when he left. The child is almost 20 now.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
wow.
You know, that is not a marriage anymore. No communication. Every once in a while, out of the blues, will just call with an unknown number, foreign number, and say, don't worry, don't worry. He did that for some years. Later, I stopped calling. That's not a marriage anymore. I would not tell a woman to put her entire life, to continue to put her entire life on hold.
But what if the other person from the other side have their own excuse of maybe he's in prison or something else? I've heard people say things like that too.
Okay, and the wife does not know he's in prison. He wants to come and explain in 30 years' time that he was in prison. The marriage itself is, you know, the beautiful thing. What makes marriage is that daily interaction and that dependency that we build from that. My husband does not know how to make his tea the way he likes it. He can make tea, he will drink it. But the way he likes his tea, he has still not gotten how I do it. Can you see the beauty of that dependency? I don't iron my clothes, God forbid. That's what husbands are for, right? So if I need my clothes ironed, I am going to call in that, sir, I've laid it out on the bed. That dependency, doing things for each other, doing life together, that is marriage, right? So being separated, no communication, not knowing where the other person is, or if the other person has started another family, which happens a whole lot. This men, God please help me to help them. Leave a wife in Nigeria, go and marry one abroad, and still be toasting another one that I'm coming in December. Meet me in the village.
Yeah, I just got back.
I just got back every December. Can you see? So I think that it is that may be one situation, abandonment, where someone can say, this is no marriage. I don't even know where this person is. If it resurfaces in after 15, 20 years, who is he? Do I even know who this person is now? Do we continue from where we stopped, or do we start courtship all over again? That's one of them. Okay, so another one is addiction. Okay. Addiction is a demon. It will destroy everything in its path. It will not stop. Okay, it is sad, it is terrible, it is really, really terrible. But you know, as a psychotherapist, I have come in contact with a lot, with a lot of stories like this. And if the partner that is fighting an addictive behavior, addictive tendencies, does not get treated, you know, it will destroy everything. The bad thing about addiction is that it reoccurs. Okay. So the possibility of even going back is always there. It's a fight that this person has to fight every day. But in a situation where the partner that is fighting addiction is not trying to be free, okay, it may be very difficult for a marriage to continue. Okay. Imagine a man that would sell anything to get his drug of choice. Imagine somebody that will beat anybody to be able to, you know, they do anything. If children are involved, then you even have to be more careful. Do you want them to continue to grow up in this environment? Do you get? So addiction is one of those things that may make us, I'm not saying that it must mean the end of a marriage or a relationship, but it may make us begin to consider that, maybe you are better off apart. Okay. Even if it's just for now. Let this person get the required medical treatment. And, all of that. So I've said abandonment, I've said addiction. The next one is adultery. Terrible.
Adultery. You don't even want to know, like, so many cases I've heard with. I remember having someone, sorry I had to butt in there. I remember having someone talk about adultery, and then she stated that, I don't care if he sleeps around, what's my own concern? At least he takes care of the children. They're going to good schools. He remembers, he respects me. He doesn't throw his nonsense at my face, so let him enjoy himself. So let's talk to those people on that table.
There's nothing much to say to them, actually, because life is a matter of choice, and we all make our personal choices. That is what they have decided to accept and to live with. And I understand, really, in this part of the world. I mean, in the olden days, these are our mothers that we are praising for being strong and, you know, persevering. Many of them knew their husbands' girlfriends. You know that. Someone was even telling me of recent. Our new husband was telling her that his own father used to bring his concubines home, and his mom will fetch bathing water and put in the bathroom for them both while she sleeps in the children's room. So why are you complaining that I have girlfriends? Okay, you saw my chat, so what? You are home. You are the one that is at home. Leave them. Can you see? That's part of the disadvantages of, you know, where we are coming from. But so this person who made these statements, if we look at our background, our family background, you know, it goes a long way to affect us. Okay. So it's possible she's coming from that, or she grew up in a community where that was very rampant. And so she's thinking, well, what is the big deal? And it's okay. She can deal with it. She has even the mental strength to be able to cope. Some people cannot. Some people cannot. And especially in situations where the adulterer is unrepentant. Some people fall into adultery, and oh God, I've met them in counseling. They are so sober. They are so sad. Like they would say that, how would I cheat on the woman I love with somebody that means nothing to me? I just I never believed you would find out. Do you get? I'm deeply sorry. They are very apologetic. We help them. Okay. There's a way to help them. All right. We heal the marriage. The partner that was cheated on, you know, we do everything we can. We even to pleading, like, please, he's very sorry. Let me and him kneel down together. Just give it a time. You will heal. The pain will not always be this bad. Do you understand? All right. But an unrepentant adulterer, even Jesus Christ said in the scripture that, please, you can end a marriage based on that. All right, so that's the third one. Oh, our time is actually fast spent, so we just need to manage the next few minutes. In fact, but let me just mention the fourth one. That is abuse. Oh, abuse. Okay. Exactly. Okay. So domestic violence is a no-no. Okay. Run, save your life. Okay. So now for I've seen so many people put on social media. I followed my husband, and then I saw him in a beer parlor with a woman, and then they just start shouting on the side chick. Is that right or wrong? In one word. Oh my goodness, there's no one word with these things. You attack the person you can fight. You understand? Are you fighting the side chick or fighting your husband? That's the person you feel that you can fight. Okay. That is how those women think. Okay. I relate with it a lot. You understand? So I've had to ask, why are you attacking her? Why not your husband? I mean, this is the person you have a business with, right? But you know, it's the matter of strength. Okay. Who can I fight? I think that is how they approach it. Okay. And you, a fellow woman, why don't you go and look for your husband? Many of them also have this mentality that men, you know, men have the tendency to be that way. But if women will stand their grounds and say no, even if he approaches you and you see that he's a married man, can't you say no and go away? Those mentality is also there. But many times, those women are actually also fighting their husbands. But they are not projecting that. All right. Most of the time. Some of these women don't sleep in the same room with their husbands anymore. They are shouting at each other from morning till night. But when they report the case, they are attacking the other woman. All right, so in the next 1 minute, 2 questions, and I'd like you to take them together. One is, while a lot of people were growing up, they'll tell you that they always had their fantasies with regards to how they'll get married. They're married, they're going to marry one Prince Charming or one girl with the very nice Coca-Cola bottle, and then when we get married, oh, the sex will be like every day, per second, per minute, per hour. Do you want it in the kitchen? You want it in the toilet? You want it in the car? But then when they finally get married, is, oh, please, I have school fees to deal with. I have one bill or the other to deal with. So in that point, how do you begin to meet a middle ground to know that he's my husband, she's my wife, but we have to enjoy our marriage first? And then secondly, we'd like to get your last words to especially teenage girls and women, or in fact everyone, with regards to Valentine's Day, how you should this day just be JJ. Okay, so about expectations, what people think that marriage is about and what they find in it. You will grow up, you understand, and you will have to face reality. Many people, you know, their idea of love was created by romance novels, movies, American romance movies, or even Nollywood movies where the prince, you know, is going to fall in love with a slave. Where did you see that nonsense? Where do you get? So that is how their idea of love was formed. So love is highly romanticized. Like, oh, it's one something. The older you grow, I mean, you are going to begin to realize that, oh no, it doesn't really work that way. But that doesn't mean that people don't even still get married with expectations that will never surface.
Okay.
So you would have to communicate your expectations with your spouse.
Okay.
When I was getting married, I was one of those people that, this sex, because they congenially kill me as a single. And I dated this young man for 4.5 years. Very godly. Don't come near me. Move back. That was what we used the whole of the courtship to do. So I thought that when I get married, every day we'll have sex first thing in the morning, sex lasting at night, then on weekends, sex in the morning, sex in the afternoon, sex in the night. Oh my God. See, by the time I got pregnant this next month, it's me that was praying that God, please, let him sleep now. Nobody should come near, nobody should touch me, you understand? So reality sets in, the reality of life, where you are in life. When you have been pregnant, it may affect your libido. You yourself, you calm down. Even if you don't calm down, your husband has never lived with a pregnant woman before, sees you throwing up, sees you changing, you know, like this your belly. Now, where will we put it to even be able to address what we are trying? Do you understand? So reality will set in.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is that life is in phases.
Okay.
That phase will go, another will come.
Okay.
You will be able to enjoy sex even better. So, but communicate your expectations. Talk about it. This is what I was thinking. I thought my husband would give me breakfast in bed every Saturday. Somebody that doesn't know how to on stove. You know, you will talk about it. Should I teach you? Are you willing to learn, or I should cancel it? That doesn't mean we don't love each other anymore. Okay, one person cannot fulfill all of your needs. You would have to leave some. Just like you are also not fulfilling all of his needs. You would have to make do with what he has, right?
Okay.
And to the last one on Valentine's Day, you have already said what I will say. Please take it easy. Young women out there, especially those of you that are not married, right? A married woman can decide to say, my body is the Valentine's gift I have for my husband. That's beautiful. Even God will smile in heaven. Somebody that has not married you, you want to go and be hanging leg. Somebody that he has no plans, even you looking at him. Sex is most beautiful in marriage. If we throw it about anyhow, sincerely, the consequences far outweighs whatever it is that you can gain from it. Sex is not a Valentine's gift. If the person is not your wife, the person is not your husband, sex cannot be. Please try to remove it from your relationships for a clear head. Okay. Because when sex is involved, sincerely, we begin to make irrational decisions. And that is why there are people who are in terribly abusive marriages and you cannot get them out. Yes. I would have to now finally call them aside. How is the sex? And they're like, that's the only time we actually connect. That's the only time that anything is even working in this house. You can see. That is why every other complaint. I had somebody who was in an abusive relationship, not a marriage. And I was like saying, but leave. Like, you can see this guy goes about telling her in public that she's extremely ugly. He says stuff like that to her in public. Terrible situation. Oh yeah, leave him. No. Leave him. No. I now called her. Alpha said, oh my God, he's so good. Hey God. So she wasted many years. They eventually went their separate ways, of course, but you know, it took her many years to do. That's what sex can do.
Funmi Olubakin, psychotherapist. It's been a wonderful time having this talk. Like, we could actually just go on and on and on, but time is never our friend. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I had a wonderful, wonderful time too.
Awesome. All right, viewers, I'm sure you also had a very wonderful time. I'm sure you've been rightly educated, entertained, and informed. It's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. We've been chatting with Funmi Olubakin, who is a marriage counselor and a psychotherapist, and it's been a wonderful time. Really, really wonderful time. I'll see you again next time. My name is Annabelle Oji. Remember, whatever you do, stay safe. And remember, November is waiting for you, especially for the women. So don't make irrational decisions. Think with your head. Think with your head. Think with your head. My name is Annabelle Oji. God bless you and yours. God bless Nigeria. Happy Valentine's Day.